Today we're diving into Flare, a blockchain that's tackling one of the biggest, most fundamental challenges in all of crypto, the data problem. You see, most blockchains are kind of flying blind. They're cut off from the outside world. And Flare? Well, Flare's built to give them sight.
So let me ask you something. Imagine your bank wants to give you a loan, and they're going to use your stock portfolio as collateral. But they have absolutely no way of knowing the price of your stocks. Sounds ridiculous, right? I mean, how could any financial institution possibly work if it's completely blind to the markets?
Well, that completely absurd scenario, that's pretty much the day-to-day reality for almost every single blockchain out there. By their very design, they're like these isolated digital islands. They can't access real-world data, like stock prices, and they can't even see what's happening on other blockchains. This core blindness has a name. It's called the Oracle problem.
And here's the thing, this isolation, it's not a bug. It's actually a core security feature. For a blockchain to be truly secure, every single participant on the network has to be able to verify every transaction and get the exact same result. It has to be this perfectly predictable system. The real world, though, it's messy. It's unpredictable. So to keep that pristine security, blockchains build up a massive wall between themselves and all that outside data.
And this right here really lays out the information gap perfectly. On one side of that wall, a blockchain knows everything happening inside its own little universe. We're talking transactions, wallet balances, the state of smart contracts. But on the other side, it knows nothing about the outside world. Not the price of Bitcoin on an exchange, not who won the World Series, and not even if a transaction got confirmed on a different blockchain. This is the exact wall that Flare was built to tear down.
So how exactly does Flare do it? How does it break down that wall? It doesn't just, bolt on some external oracle as an afterthought. No. Instead, it builds two incredibly powerful data gathering protocols right into the very foundation of the network. We're talking about the State Connector and the Flare Time Series Oracle.
Okay, first up is the State Connector. The easiest way to think about this is like a team of decentralized notaries. They can look at another blockchain, say Bitcoin or Ethereum, and all come to an agreement, a consensus, about what happened over there, and they can prove it with cryptographic certainty. This means an app on Flare can, for instance, securely check that a payment was made on a totally different chain, all without needing some risky centralized bridge.
Now, the State Connector uses this really methodical three-phase protocol to make sure everything is accurate. First, a user makes a request for some info. Simple enough. Next, a whole network of independent data providers commit to their answer by submitting what's basically a digital fingerprint of their proof. It's called a hash. This locks in their answer without actually showing it to anyone. And finally, in the reveal phase, they all show their cards. The system can then check that the revealed data perfectly matches the fingerprint they committed to. The whole thing is just designed for verifiable truth.
The second native protocol is the Flare Time Series Oracle, or FTSO for short. So if the State Connector is busy reading other blockchains, the FTSO is reading the real world. You can just think of it as a decentralized stock ticker, constantly feeding reliable, real-time price data for things like crypto and stocks directly onto the Flare network for any app to use.
But here's the deal. For these super powerful oracles to be trustworthy, the blockchain they're built on has to be incredibly secure. And this is where Flare really takes a different path from most other networks you've heard of.
It doesn't use proof of work, the super energy-hungry mining that secures Bitcoin, and it also doesn't use a traditional proof-of-stake system, which can sometimes become top-heavy, where just a few super wealthy players end up with way too much control over the whole network.
Instead, Flare uses something called Federated Byzantine Agreement, or FBA. Now, don't worry about the complex diagram. The core idea is actually really simple and kind of beautiful. In FBA, there isn't one single group of validators that everyone has to trust. Instead, each node on the network just defines its own small circle of trusted peers. Think of it like your own personal web of trust. The global agreement on what's true just emerges naturally from all the overlaps between everyone's little trust circles. It's security that comes from the community up, not from the top down. So, okay, the theory sounds impressive, but does this stuff actually work in the real world? To find out, Flare put its big ideas to the test on its experimental network, which is called Songbird.
And the main question they wanted to answer was this. Could they tweak the FTSO's reward system to get more people to participate, in other words, boost decentralization, without messing up the accuracy of the price data? This is a classic problem in network design because more participants can sometimes just mean more noise. The stakes were definitely high.
And the results were, well, they were stunning. If you look at the data for the Bitcoin price feed, before they made the change, only about 20% of the data providers were actually earning rewards. After the update, that number shot up and tripled to 66%. This wasn't some small adjustment. It was a massive leap forward in decentralization, proving their new incentive model really worked.
But here's the most important part. They got all this wider participation without hurting the quality of the data. As Flare's own analytics team put it, the change had a positive impact on decentralization and did not have a negative impact on price quality. The test was a huge success. They had solved that classic trade-off.
So we've got these two native oracles. We've got this unique consensus system. Why does any of this matter? Well, because by solving the data problem at the most basic, fundamental level, Flare is aiming to unlock a whole new generation of what's possible with blockchain applications.
What this technology really enables is applications that are natively interoperable. They can use assets and information from any other chain. It means smart contracts can finally securely connect to real-world data feeds. And it's all built on a consensus foundation that's fair, that's leaderless, and that actually gets more decentralized as it grows. At its core, Flare is a blockchain that was built from the ground up for data.
And all of this brings us to one last big question. We've all heard the phrase, data is the new oil. If that's even remotely true, what happens when every single blockchain, every smart contract, and every decentralized app can finally tap into that resource securely and reliably? What new worlds of innovation get built then? That's the future Flare is shooting for.